morning. Good to see everybody this morning. Happy Friday. And today we're excited to be celebrating our celebration of kindness, respect, and inclusion event. And so you guys are kicking it off today. We have two guest speakers that are going to be here spending the next hour or so with you guys, talking about what it means to be kind, respectful, and inclusive. And so we are very honored to have you. Help me give me a round of applause, a shout out to our two speakers. One you know more than the other one, but we have Miss Erin Bauman. You guys know the other speaker a little bit more, Mr. Ty Terry. So, a few years ago, we knew that we wanted Erin to come down to Valley City Public Schools and share her message with you. And then something called COVID interfered with our plans with that. So this whole day wasn't delayed actually 2 days with the winter weather. It was delayed about 3 or 4 years. And so long overdue. We're excited to have her. And so for all of you, the message today is going to be shared with you by Ms. Bauman and Mr. Terry, but it's commitment about us building a positive school culture, and that includes being kind, respectful, and inclusive of each and everybody, no matter who you are, where you come from, your background, the color of your skin, your gender, whatever else that may be. We as a school district have a commitment and need to do better as a school district about being inclusive of everybody. And so today kicks off our commitment and your guys' involvement as a school district to do better in this world. And so let me give you a little introduction on Erin before we ask her to come over. Erin has been traveling around North Dakota speaking with students and organizations about inclusion and ending the use of the R word. So a couple days ago was Spread the Word and the Word Day on Wednesday. We're celebrating that right here today, aren't we, in Valley City Public Schools? Absolutely. Her powerful message will focus on inclusion of all people because Erin believes that anyone, no matter who they are, can make a difference in the world. Erin helps others be aware of how the R word affects people with disabilities. Erin wants you to know that everyone is important. You guys give me a huge highliner welcome to Miss Erin Bauman.
So before I take my speech, remember, no sneezing because that cracks me up. Hi for having me here today. Does looking at me not you look away? Does looking at me make you uncomfortable? Don't just look at us, see us. These are the words from Paralympics TV commercial and why I am here today. My name is Erin Bauman, and I would like to talk to you today about a new R word, respect. I am just like you, except I have Down syndrome, which means that I have an intellectual disability. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, said, and I quote, "I believe that every human mind feels pleasure in doing good to another." End quote. All people deserve to feel special, to be included, and be respected. It is not fair to bully anyone. Just like it is not fair to an intellectually disabled person to use the I word. Using the I word to call someone or something stupid or dumb makes people with intellectual disabilities feel not cool and uncomfortable. Not including others can make them feel not wanted and alone for being different, and is another form of bullying. No matter who you are a person, and that makes you special. People need to look behind your face and look inside the person so you can tell what a person is really like. People are all different. And each one of you, can help others to be the best person they can be. People judge who you are by your actions. You can change the world by helping to make it an inclusive society for all people. Being included means everyone counts and are not left out or left behind. For over 17 years, I have a job washing dishes at Hardee's and love attending all Unity Spring events. I have lots of friends with and without intellectual disabilities. I like to go to movies and out here with my friends, just like you do. I have dreams and I have feelings just like you and everyone else. This is me. This is everyone. You can include others in your world. We make a difference in the world by choosing to include. I have lots of Unity athletes from almost all the Unity teams that I consider my friends. Most of the Unity coaches know me by my first name. Many of the Unity athletes help with Special Olympics. They in Special Olympics sees me as a person, not my disability. They see me. Each one of us is including those of us with an intellectual disability deserves to be treated as a human being. It doesn't matter if you have intellectual disability or not. All people are important. People can make a difference in the world by making all people feel included. John Stevens, a Special Olympics athlete, global messenger from Virginia, said, quote, "No one overcomes more than we do and still loves us so much," end quote. People are all different, and we can all make a change in the world. We need to make it an inclusive world. Everyone has different abilities and disabilities. Some have intellectual disabilities, some have physical disabilities, some have autism, Some have math disabilities, some have reading disabilities, some have art disabilities, and some have other disabilities. But we can all be a part of inclusive society. Nobody should destroy or try to hurt anyone's life. In order to make it a more inclusive society, we need to make the effort to include other people in our world. It doesn't matter how they look, or how they speak, or how they are still people. A few years ago, when my niece was 10 years old, she did a project for Martin Luther King Day. And the students were to write something that go with, "I have a dream." Oh, here's what my niece wrote. "I have a dream that people everywhere can understand and not make fun of those people that have a disability. Everyone is different. They shouldn't be treated like they are different. Everyone should be treated equally. I believe everyone, including you and me, can make a difference in the world. Remember, all it takes for the world to go on is for one good person to look the other way when they see or hear injustice. Everyone needs to get involved into the act for inclusion. So next time you hear someone use the R word, or picking on someone, or being hurtful to someone, get involved and tell them it is wrong to do that. Let us, you and me, start the inclusion revolution. Remember me standing here before you today. When you hear someone, when you see someone left out, or alone, or being different, please go to the website to make a champion of change. The website is www.spreadtheword.global. People with intellectual disabilities, they have fun. And we have feelings just like everybody else. You need to greet them, acknowledge them, and be their friend. You need to know them before you can trust them. People are all different. And we can accept everyone as friends, heroes, inspiration, and most of all, people. I have given this speech for the last 7 years. I talked to a lot of schools, unity classes, civic groups, and businesses, people of all ages. Students and other people are not using the R word and are not including others because of us. Because of you sharing this strong message, it has made and will make, can continue to make a difference in the world. When are you choosing to include? Remember, there is nothing you and I are not worthy of having or doing. Shower the world with respect and inclusion. Show the world what togetherness. Show the world what it means to live inclusively. Show the world what togetherness looks like. In the words of Timothy Shriver, the chairman of the board of Special Olympics International, and I quote, "We need this, never more than today, never more than here, never more than with us. Please pledge work for the lonely, the isolated, the left out, the challenged, the bullied, to overcome the fear of difference and replace it with the power of inclusion. Just to include." Unquote. Mr. Shriver continues, at the Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, I quote, "We all have intellectual differences. Special Olympics athletes are the prophets of tolerance and compassion in a whole new world. This is the place where everybody belongs. Everybody counts. Everybody has talents. Everybody contributes. And everybody is the playing field of life. Create and celebrate the beauty of abilities and disabilities of each person in the world." End quote. I say, remember, people judge who you are by your actions. We are all special in different ways. So please make a difference in the world by including all, no matter who they are or how they look. If you see someone falling behind, walk beside them. If you see someone being ignored, find a way to include them. Always remind people of their worth. One small act could mean the world to them. There is a difference in being friendly, saying hi to someone, and being a friend. Having a conversation. In inclusion, knowing stuff about the person and what it means to them. My friend in Valley City is Josh Johnson. You know him as Mr. Johnson. To me, he's my JJ. Josh Johnson is number 42 in Devil State, North Dakota. I met Josh when I was in the hospital in Grand Forks, paralyzed from a brain absence. He was friendly. Then he came back often to see me, and a friendship developed. Then he brought his girlfriend, and now his wife, which is Tristan Johnson, known as TJ, to meet me, and we became friends. Now his children are here, are my friends in my life too. I was included in his life. I was second dance at his wedding. He knows me, he guides me at times too. And that is what inclusion is. Let us see each other as people and know that everyone has a gift to give the world. We can all help everyone to be the best they can be. We can rise together, we can stand together, we can stick together as peanut butter, and we can build a legacy together. By joining the Inclusion Revolution. Inclusion is not a program. Inclusion is a mindset. It is where we treat others and they treat us. Inclusion is an opportunity to learn together from one another. And we do it because it is the right thing to do. Choose to include and you will change your life. The Special Olympics and Special Buddies theme for Spread the Word is inclusion is a go. All in inclusive. Going, all it means that everyone has a place at the table. Everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone should feel to be included. Don't make that difference in the world by including everyone as friends and tell people not to use that R word. Help us build an inclusive community. Please spread the word inclusion. You have to see it to be it. And more importantly, you have to see it to be it, to show it. But others will follow. Share a smile, be a friend. Smiles are contagious. I say, stop the R word and use respect instead. Join the inclusion revolution. Thanks.
Let's give one more round of applause to him. I think I should have looked at your notes and your pages before you started telling stories about us. If you think that I made a difference on Aaron, it's quite the opposite. So a simple little decision that I made when I was about 20 or 21 years old to go visit Erin in the hospital when she had a medical situation ultimately changed my life, my perspective, and the way that I view people and individuals. And so, as Erin describes us, now, beyond my wife and my kids, have been able to have a friendship with Erin. There's so many things that Erin said that stand out. How many of you in this room have ever been bullied, made fun of? Somebody has said something to you that is unkind, disrespectful, anything? Anyone? How does that make you feel? The challenge that Erin shared with you today is to be kind, to be respectful, treat other people how you want to be treated, to include, to stop bullying. Beyond just simply the R word, is to treat other people respectfully, treat other people kindly, to include them. So, Erin, you inspired all of us today, and you challenged us more than anything else. So thank you so much for being here, sharing your messages. Erin will be speaking with our 9, 10, 11, 12, with community members, and then also with students at Washington Elementary today. So, any questions anyone has, or Mrs. Brandt, anything?
I have jokes too.
You have some jokes in this? Let's make sure Mr. Terry, you're gonna stay up here. Let's make sure Mr. Terry can share some messages, and then we're gonna have some stand-up comedy probably at the end of that. So, any questions before we move on? All right, Aaron. All right, Mr. Terry, as you guys know, Mr. Terry is a father, husband, educator, coach in Valley City. He is also a very proud Highliner. His presentation today is going to focus on diversity, how we should, each of us, treat each other with kindness, respect. Ty will talk a little bit about his childhood in both Mississippi and North Dakota, how race and diversity had an impact on his life. Ty will challenge all of us to end the use of the N-word and any other derogatory slur or disrespectful language towards other individuals. So help give a round of applause and welcome to
Good morning. Oh my goodness, you guys like 7th, 8th grade. You guys come with it. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. Good energy. All right, you should get it first time. I thought you guys would for sure nail that. All right. But hey, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about my experiences. Okay, I'm not the best public speaker or anything like that. I probably wouldn't do this, but I just felt like this message will something that you guys can learn and help you guys in the future. Okay, so. Just to give you kind of background about myself, I was born in Fargo, North Dakota, and I actually was raised in Valley City. And basically at that time, Valley City was little to no black families in this, and we were like only one family, my cousins or whatever, okay? So it's just to kind of so you guys know. And then when I lived here, I had like a different kind of life. Like my dad was a soil scientist, so every winter we would go down to Florida when the snow dropped. We'd go to Florida, and when the snow was gone, we'd come back to North Dakota. So I wasn't really here all the time. But the reason why I'm telling you that is because when I went down to Florida, you know, here in Valley City is kind of pretty much predominantly Caucasian, so it wasn't much diversity when I went down to Florida. And then when I went down to Florida, it was easy because there was so much diversity that when I went out, I was just plugged in. It was easy, right? But then when I was in 4th grade, my dad's job made us move to Mississippi, right? So I thought I was prepared for this transition, but I really wasn't, right? Because here in Valley City, my parents never raised me to know about color. They never told me like, hey, your friend's white, you're black. We never had those conversations. So one of my best friends, you know, his name's Jeff Larson. When I was here, basically the only time that we ever talked about color was which Ninja Turtle we were going to use, the red, blue, whatever, right? And he was the one who always got Michelangelo because he was the cool guy of the group, right? Which was cool, right? It didn't matter to me, but that's the only time we ever talked color. So then my first day in Mississippi was a rude awakening for me. I'm telling you, it was crazy, right? Because we get to school, principal's showing me everything, you know, like here's your locker, here you go, this. So then it comes up to now, we go to recess. Right? I'm like, yes, everybody knows recess, right? We get to go play sports, get to jump on the bars, monkey bars, do it. So we get out there, and I see guys playing basketball, right? So you know I'm going to gravitate over there. We got guys playing football over here. We got people on the thing. So I go over here to play basketball. I'm not looking at color. I'm not thinking of anything of it. Everybody's playing basketball that day. I didn't know they had certain assignments. Like, I didn't know it was like that, right? It's so segregated down there. So I go down there, there's white guys are playing basketball. So I try to jump in with them, right? And before I say this, does everybody know what the N-word is, right? Everybody does? So I don't have to say it? Perfect, thank you. Because I don't want to say it. All right, so we get over here and we're playing basketball. And everybody's like, hey, N-word, get out of here. You're so stupid, get out of here. What are you doing? What? I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa, I'm just trying to play basketball. What's going on? So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not wanted here. At least I know that part, right? I'm not welcomed over here, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to play basketball today. So I go over here, and I see all the black guys playing football. I'm like, let's go play football with these guys a little bit, show them I can play a little bit, right? So when I get over there, they're all like, man, what happened over there? They're like, oh, I tell them that they're calling me the N-word, because I had no clue what the N-word was. I mean, I'm from Valley City. Nobody called me the N-word here. I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. So I go over here and all these black kids are telling me I'm a punk. I'm like, whoa, hold up. These guys don't like me because I'm whatever. And these guys are telling me I'm a punk. So I'm really confused, right? So after recess is done, I go into the classroom, another rude awakening, right? Because I'm from Valley City. You know, our teachers don't make us say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, in Valley City, right? So Mississippi, you have to do that to authority. That's the ultimate respect. So I didn't even know that. So I go up to the teacher, and she's like, what you're causing problems out there? I'm like, problems? I didn't think I was causing any problems. So she keeps talking to me. We're talking, and I never said yes, ma'am, nothing. So she's like, go out in the hallway. I'm like, what? I'm in trouble for, what? How do you know what I'm in trouble for? So we got in the hallway, long story short, I ended up getting spanked with a paddle from the teacher for being disrespectful to her because she thought I was just trying to not respect her because she was a white teacher and I was a black kid, right? So I get a spanking my first day with a paddle. I'm getting called the N-word playing basketball. I'm getting called a punk playing football, right? Because whatever, right? So now, you can just about imagine what kind of talk we're gonna have with my parents at the dinner table that day, right? So I get to the dinner table, me and my parents, we're sitting there, and I'm like, man, my parents look at me and they're like, hey, Ty, something's wrong with you. What's bothering you? I'm like, man, I'm so confused right now. I don't even get what's going on. And then, so I tell my parents, I'm like, hey, what does the N-word mean? Ooh. And you know how awkward that was for my parents, right? Because they never talked to me about that. So they're both just trying to take a bite to eat, because it's awkward, just say, they're trying to find out which one's going to talk first, right? Because they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. It's uncomfortable, right? So I'm sitting there looking and waiting on them to say something. When they're not saying anything, like, hold up. So why was I getting called the N-word today? And why were the black kids telling me I'm a punk? My parents tried to explain it to me as much as they could without, trying to make it derogatory, right? So they're explaining it to me and everything. They tell me it's just a way that, to be disrespectful and stuff like that. So I'm starting to understand that, and I go through the school year there. So we finish the school year, then at this time we move to this other city that's in the suburbs of Memphis, Tennessee. It's like Moorhead and Fargo, right? So I lived in the Mississippi side, and the other side is Memphis, Tennessee, right? So we have a pretty good program there. It's all about sports or whatever, which I thought I was gonna thrive there. But at the same time, the coaches, teachers, the principals, the students, everybody had free range calling me the N-word. That's just what they did. If you weren't competing or if you weren't doing something wrong, the coaches could call you whatever. If you went to the principal's office, he's just gonna tell you, go back to the classroom. That's just where it was. So I was really confused. I go back to my parents, I'm like, if the N-word was supposed to be disrespectful, why am I so able to be able to be called this? Why are people authority able to call me this, right? So that continued to happen. And then I'll fast forward to my sophomore year in high school, okay? And my sophomore year in high school, we had a pretty decent, that was supposed to be the year that we were supposed to be really good at basketball that year. So we go down to like a southern school in Mississippi, really good team. And they like full court press us, and they're really good. We come out that game, we lose, we have about 20, 30 turnovers, right? If you don't know what a turnover is, that's when you give the ball to the other team, okay? So our coaches the next day goes, get practice. The second we get dressed for practice, it's like, everybody's on the line. I'm like, whoa, all right. So we get online, he puts about 30 on the clock. So it's like, the visitor side, he just puts 30 up there. We're gonna run that many times, he's just gonna subtract until we're done. So we get to about 15 or 20. And my brother's like, everybody's just getting very exhausted, irritated. We're like, we don't even want to run anymore. Because the whole time we're running, our coach is calling us everything you can think of. He's calling us the N-words. He's telling us we're monkeys that can't be tamed. He's just telling us everything, right? So my brother says, that's enough is enough. My brother goes up to the coach and says, you're not going to call me this anymore. And basically, they almost get to a fist fight, right? So, of course, at that time, it takes about 3 or 4 of our teammates to get him off the coach. And then after that, my brother gets dismissed from the team. We come home that day. My parents are like, my brother and my parents are just arguing. My brother's like, man, I got to get out of here. I got to get a chance to get an opportunity to go to college, whatever. So my parents, they're like, they don't know what to do. So my mom, and then they figure out, all right, they're going to send my brother back up to North Dakota. So he can come up here and live with my brother and my auntie and all them. So he comes back. And then I'm confused now. I'm like, whoa, what am I supposed to do, right? I'm still on the team. Am I supposed to stay here and keep playing on the team that I'm getting disrespected by? Or do I just quit, right? There's no quit, so I can't quit. That's not an option. So I finish out the season, right? And after the season's done, I ask my parents, I'm like, man, I gotta get the same opportunity, right? I want the same opportunity. I want to be able to do something successful in my life too. So they decided to send me up to North Dakota as well, right? So I'm super excited. I get to come back to North Dakota, be around some people that I used to know, get a chance to have an opportunity to do some good things. But unfortunately, the first hour, the first people that I see in the hallways, very unfortunate. See, come in and walk in, the principal showing me my locker, same thing, Mississippi, right? So I see a couple girls come down the stairs and they see me walk with the principal. Guess what the first thing they said? They said, oh my goodness, we got more N-words in our school. Now, think of that. I just left Mississippi for that reason. So I come to North Dakota to get away from that, and the first time I'm here, I hear that. So some of you guys are on the basketball team, you heard my high school coach tell the story how the first couple days and first weeks, I was very insecure, have a hood on, walking in the hallway. Well, that's the reason why. That's the reason why. So I would have my hood down, so insecure because I didn't know if I belonged. I didn't know where think about that. If somebody told you, you don't belong here, you don't belong there, you're going to question yourself. And that's probably one of the worst things you can do in your life is be insecure and question yourself because somebody's calling you something, right? Or you get bullied. And we all been there. Most of us have been there, right? You get bullied or you feel somebody makes you feel insecure, so you really question yourself. So think about it. I go from Mississippi, come here, I question myself. End of the school year, that's my sophomore year. I question myself, so at that time, I'm like, all right, who cares? I'm going home. I'm going back to Mississippi. I'm going to reevaluate the situation and see if I really need to be in Valley City again, right? Sure enough, I had a conversation with the guidance counselor. That guy showed me kindness, respect, and he included me, right? And I looked at that plan, and I said, man, if I came up here to North Dakota to do just this is the plan I need to do, right? Now, this guy took the time out to show me that he cared. And him showing me he cared was a springboard for all the accomplishments that I had. You understand? From that point, I had A's, B's, and grades. I stayed in the gym all the time. All the time. That's all I did I was like, man, I'm gonna get a scholarship. Next thing you know, I had several scholarships to go play basketball, right? I had several Division I scholarships, D2 scholarships. I ended up committing to a school up north. I will not say the name of them. But, so, just so you guys know, of all the things that I've been through, all the things that happened to me, I could have questioned myself and gave up. But the truth is, when people show you kindness, they show you respect, and they include you with inclusion, that gives you power. That gives you that springboard and confidence to go to where you accomplish what you want to accomplish, right? But at the same time, when I was getting called the N-word and I was confused, to think how powerful that was too. Because if I didn't get that inspiration, guys, I don't know where I'd be right now, right? I'd probably be like all my friends that I go back to Mississippi and see that they're working at McDonald's or they're working at Walmart and they feel like they're doing good because they have a full-time job. But they're not they didn't meet their potential because they settled for what they thought they were, right? So when you guys are out here and you see somebody being a bully, or you see somebody saying something derogatory to somebody, don't join them and think that you're powerful because you're joining a powerful group. That's not power, man. That's false power. The real power is if you go to that person and that's getting bullied and speak life into them. Tell them that they're cool. Tell them that they're good. Because everybody's different, right? Just because you look a certain way doesn't make you cool. Just because you got money doesn't make you cool. The real thing that makes you cool, guys, is how you make somebody feel. Because that's how they're going to remember you when you go to your high school reunion or anything like that. It comes about how you make somebody feel. All right? You can say whatever you want, but actions are louder than words, man. Actions are louder than words. So if you make somebody feel proud, it's going to go a long way. Right? One thing I want to add, though, just one last thing, okay? Because I know the N-word is kind of for me, I know it's kind of confusing. So when I talk to people about the N-word, I know it's confusing because some of us, I know a lot of you have probably listened to a rap song and you heard the N-word. I'm sure you probably watched a movie, you've heard the N-word. Or you probably been around a group of African Americans and they're using the N-word, right? But let's just say it like this. If I coach those kids or if I have those kids, automatically I tell them that's not going to be cool. You're not going to use that in front of me, okay? Because it makes it confusing to a Caucasian person that comes and walks by, and if they're cool with those black kids, what is he going to think? Oh, I can say the N-word. But I guarantee you I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen it 1,000 times where the white kid comes up to the black kid, and they're like rapping or whatever, and he says the N-word, and what happens? The black kid's like, whoa, hold up. Nah, that's not what happened, right? But that's contradicting a little bit because he was using the word and things of that nature, right? So my point of view to everybody out here, I don't care what race you are, I don't care. The N-word is not a word to use. It's just not, because the whole point of the N-word is just to take a race and put them down here and say that you're not as good as me, okay? So however you use it, even if you put an A at the end, an ER at the end, an H at the end, I don't care. The word should not be used, okay? Because the whole meaning of it is to be derogatory and put people in a group that says that you're less than me, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm just going to tell you this. From my experience, the more kind you are, the more respect you give, and the more you include people, the more powerful you will be, and the more powerful the people that are around you will be. So let's just do it that way, okay?
Within Valley City, the brick and mortar of this building. We set the tone for how we want this building to be, and you're a critical part of that. We can't have this building be inclusive if you aren't on board. And so the reason that we bring these speakers here today is for you to have kind of a light switch go off, that each and every one of you sitting in these chairs has an equal responsibility to make this building and make your community feel like we want it to feel. And I think our speakers did an awesome job today talking a lot about inclusion, but the overarching message is kindness. Treat people as human beings, no matter the color of their hair, the color of their skin, their gender, their socioeconomic status, doesn't matter. Every one of you is a cousin, a brother, maybe an uncle, maybe an aunt, a child. Every one of you is a child of a parent. Every one of you has value, and every one of you has a goal in life that you want to meet. Yes, if you look around, we all have differences. There's differences among us. But that's what makes the world so awesome, is those differences. We don't want to think alike. We don't want to have to be alike. But we have to respect the differences that everybody else has and the values that they have as well. And so I again want to turn it over to Mr. Johnson. I thank you for your attention today, and I do want to challenge you that let's make this community a community that is inclusive.
First of all, just because we're standing up here, Mrs. Brandt, myself, we all have the challenge in front of us to do better than what we've been doing. And so that's, as teachers, educators, as a school, as a community members, the challenge has been put out there. Aaron said it, Ty followed up. So think about that, look yourself in the mirror, and consider the differences that you're making for everybody. One other additional thing before you close and conclude. If you are, after today's message, thinking to yourself you want to reach out, you want to have a conversation with Aaron, you want to talk a little bit more about what that means, or have a conversation with Ty and your inclusion in school, please do so. We can have some contacts and information as well to make sure that's available for you guys. One last thing we did with the last group, this last weekend we had state champions at Valley City High School. And so let's give a shout out and have our state champions from the Highliner youth basketball team stand up if we could. Aiden, Anthony, anybody else? Just give a round of applause.